What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking out this episode. Today is all about finding solutions instead of focusing on problems. We're at Expressions College in Emeryville, California, where we're talking about it today.
Do you have goals you want to achieve in life? Or a vision you want to turn into reality? It's not going to happen overnight. It's part of a process. And any process takes time. But what's involved in that process? It's what you'll find out. Welcome to Achieve the Goal, the web series.
Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about focusing on solutions instead of problems. Now, us as human beings, we love focusing on the bad things in life, the bad things that happen. And I remember starting out, I would focus on problems all the time. Like I was like the king problem person. And so what really changed with me, I guess, is having the right people in my corner. Now, my best friend, when we first started our business, when things went wrong, when there are little bitty small problems, I would always make these big deal out of them. I would be like, oh, this is the end of the world. We just broke an airbrush needle or something small like that. And instead of focusing on the problems, he would always come up with solutions. Like, look, okay, that's fine, but we know what the problem is, but what are we gonna do to solve this problem? What is the solution? And I remember he used to do this all the time, and I just didn't really know how to apply that. I just always thought, my mind was always negative, and it always went to the actual problem instead of the solution. And so he would these situations would constantly keep happening. And he told me, look, dude, stop focusing on the problem, because whatever you focus on starts to intensify, starts to get bigger. And he said, instead of wasting time focusing on the problem, we understand what the problem is. We know what it is. Okay, we identified the problem. We understand what it is. How are we gonna fix this? Because we could spend all this time focusing on that issue, and we're just wasting time from actually getting to the bottom of it and resolving it. So let me tell you guys about a story about how we found a solution even though a problem was presented. When we first started our business, we had no idea what we were doing. We ended up signing up for a screen printing class at a local community college, and we actually started our business in this class. So this was a time when Obama was first running for president. And I know that you guys probably seen all those Obama t-shirts that everybody was wearing. So we're like, okay, cool, we're gonna take a little slice of that pie. And so we started to pick up business outside of class, bring the shirts in class and print them. Now, we weren't supposed to do it. Like, literally, my teacher could have got fired, but we paid her off. We didn't have any money, so we gave her t-shirts instead. So like, literally, by the end of the semester, she had a stack of t-shirts like this on her desk. But she let us be creative. So we ended up building relationships throughout the class, and we ended up meeting a store owner in Berkeley, California that we sold a lot of our stuff to. Now, after the class ended, I get a call from the store owner, and he said, look, Devin, I need 24 shirts by Friday. I think this was like a Monday or a Tuesday. And so I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. And hung up. Now, we stopped and we were thinking, how the heck are we gonna print these shirts? Class is over. We don't have any money, so we can't buy any equipment. What are we gonna do? That was the problem. And see, I focused on the problem. I was all stressing out and panicking because I'm like, man, he wants these shirts, and I don't know how we're gonna print them. I don't know how we're gonna get the equipment. I don't know what we're gonna do. And so we said, all right, look, business partner said, we gotta come up with a solution. We understand what the problem is. We've identified what the problem is, but how are we gonna come up with a solution? So we got creative. We literally went down to Home Depot, bought some wood, some clamps, wood screws, and some glue, and we built this. A one color, one station screen printing press. Now we're thinking we're like the next Steve Jobs, like we just built the next iPhone or something. And so we get the shirts, set it all up, set up the press in our garage. We print the first shirt and we stop and we realize, wait, how are we gonna dry the shirts? Like literally there's wet ink on the shirt, how are we gonna dry it? We're only thinking press. That was a solution to the problem. But now another problem arose. How are we gonna dry the ink? So we had to get creative again. We literally went in the backyard, got a wheelbarrow, filled it up with wood, brought it in the house, stacked up our fireplace, lit the fireplace and laid all the shirts on like the floor and the couch and laid them all down. Closed all the windows, and it was hot in there. We were in there sweating, but the shirts were drying. And so after about an hour and a half of sitting there, literally watching the shirts, sweating, we packed up the shirts, boxed them up, and we're all happy. We're like, yeah, we created this solution to the problem that we had. So we brought it to the store, put the shirts on the counter. The store owner picks it up like, oh, these are nice, they look good. And then he stopped and was like, why do they smell like a campfire? So we didn't realize like the smoke of the fireplace was getting on the shirts and making them smell like a freaking forest fire. And so we had to come up with a solution again. And we're like, see, what had happened was there's an organic blend. And he was like, look, next time just give me the 100% cotton. So this is just one example of being faced with a problem and coming up with a solution. And like I said, us as humans, we always like to focus on the problem. But what's so crazy is that whatever we focus on, we intensify. So sometimes that problem is so small, but we focus on it so much and put so much attention to this problem that it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we start creating this facade in our head, like this issue, we can never tackle this issue, we never could handle it. When instead, we need to be focused on the solution. We understand what the problem is. Yeah, it's good to understand and acknowledge the problem, identify it so you know what you're working with. Then when you see it, come up with a solution. Be solution-minded. And I swear, after that situation and time again of my mentor telling me, look, stop focusing on the problem, I would call him and I realized I wasted so much time calling my mentor, complaining about problems, instead of taking that time and coming up with solutions. And I swear, once I started to realize what I was doing and I stopped focusing on problems and started focusing on the solution, everything changed. Everything just worked out. I realized that the problems were not as big as I was making them. I realized that the problems that I was thinking were the end of the world really didn't mean anything or really weren't that hard to figure out. I was just focusing on the wrong things. You might be going through an issue right now or have a problem that is presented in front of you, but you're focused on that problem. You're talking about, oh, this is the problem, or I have this issue, and you keep talking about it. You keep talking about it. My challenge for you, stop talking about the problem. You've identified it. You know what it is. Start coming up with solutions. Figure out a way that you could find a way to get rid of that problem. And I promise you, I guarantee you, it's probably way easier than you think. But you're spending so much time focused on the problem that you're missing the solution. It's right there. It's right there. Just focus on it. Look for it. Be solution-minded. Identify the problem, find the solution, move forward. So this week, whatever problem that you're dealing with, whatever issue that you're dealing with, instead of focus on that, try to find a solution. I challenge you. I guarantee you're gonna find things that you did not know existed. You're gonna be surprised on how easy it is to solve that problem. Just by your mindset shift, just by focusing on something different. So we're starting to gain a little bit of traction with this goal of the week. But I really want you guys to take this serious. I really want you guys to be, to participate in this, because I'm telling you it will help. And I'm not just saying this. You know, it's funny because these episodes that we're putting out, sometimes you look at people and you're like, oh, they got it together, they have all the answers, they know what to do. I struggle with this stuff just like everybody else. Like literally, like it's funny because each episode that I'm putting out, it's like I'm faced with something that week that I have to deal with, and I have to look back at my video and I'm like, look, this is what you said, so follow your own advice. So this week, I challenge you to really, really take this serious. Take this goal of the week serious. Find the solution. I want you guys to comment below what the problem was and what solution you found. I guarantee you it'll work. I guarantee you. If you found this helpful in any way, I encourage you to share it with your friends, tag it with somebody, leave a comment, let us know how you did it. And like I always say, to get something you never had, you must do something you never done. Peace.